We have domestic violence. We have student violence in the schools. We have violence against each other in the neighborhoods. We have teen violence. We have adult violence. We have folks going out here and killing and shooting one another. We have folks that are carrying handguns at all times, ready for the next victim. We have to become the eyes and ears also of the police department. We have to have the neighborhood watches reinforced. You got cell phones now, so if you see something that is not looking, that is out of order within your community or within the structure of where you're at, and you know that violence could perhaps be the ultimatum of this situation, do your part that you have to do when you call that 911 number. And also, if you have to become a snitch, become a snitch. I'd rather become a snitch than to go to a funeral and see a friend of yours laying up there in that casket. Martin Luther King started a nonviolence movement down south. Then he took that nonviolence movement and brought it up north and across the countries. Those also have tagged on to this nonviolent movement. We have a lot of organizations right here, even in Battle Creek, but you got to step up. You can't just sit there behind the walls and talk about it. You got to come out in the streets and march and have rallies in the streets. You got to talk about it in the school systems. You got to talk about it in the churches, and you got to talk about it at the city meetings. That violence in the community will not be tolerated. That those perpetrators who are out there committing these crimes and acts of violence will be handled very forcefully by our law enforcement structure and our court systems. No longer will we sit back in this community and let violence exist when we can stamp it out. You say, well, how can we stamp that out? The thing, if you don't do nothing, then you already become defeated. I told you about having neighborhood watches. I told you about having your city leaders become accountable when it comes to like your curfew laws. Make sure that you have strict enforcement on the curfew laws on the books. Just because they're on the books, they've got to be enforced. That takes young kids off the streets at certain hours that they don't need to be out there.